Man, we are amped up today. How are you guys doing? Happy Monday and welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. On today's docket, we are talking about a new banking giant enters the crypto space. The great Bitcoin accumulation has begun. Massive partnership for Near Protocol. We're also talking about Binance continuing its exodus out of Europe. That and among other things, plus. There is an indicator on the DXY that the last two times it flashed, we saw massive bull markets in Bitcoin, and it just flashed again. What is it? What does it mean? We're going to go over that. But first, here's your co-host, Robin.
Hola! Hola! My hola hasn't been working the last couple of days. I feel like y'all are conspiring against my hola. Just throwing it out there, man. Like y'all muting me or something. Anyways, it's your boy Big Rob.
Rocco would never do that to you. To me, he would. To you, he would.
Maybe.
No, I would never do to you.
Yeah, right.
All right, so welcome to Sin City Crypto, guys. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where, unlike the other channels where they package up these boring-ass information, we take the crypto news and we package it up in a fun, sexy way, kind of like these arm motions I'm doing here. I don't know why I do those anyways.
Juicy.
And then we also talk about the price of Bitcoin, which is at a stable 30K. It's the only thing stable in my life right now.
Now,
Thank you.
What else is stable is the customer support we receive from channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. No, sometimes you're having issues with your business and your network and your IT, and you try to pick up the phone and call someone, but you're either on hold forever or you have to email or talk to a robot. Well, with Cam's Blue Wire Tech, if you're a business, you got to pick up your phone, give them a call. They pick right up. They help you walk you through all your problems. So if you need help in that area, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, Robin, how's your weekend?
My weekend was amazing. You know, it did Rant and Ramble yesterday. Pretty good turnout of a fun time there. And then what else did I do? I just got some stuff done around the house and
Ramble
that's it, man.
Wow.
That's it.
Thank you. Also,
What did you do this weekend? Yeah, I felt like you're like fishing for.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Are you to ask me the question?
Oh, okay.
Come on, tell us.
I hung out with my kids. So my kids, my two boys, 10 and 8, Liam and Thomas. If you remember, you've met them because we did a members only video. But
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, I've met your kids. I'm like,
not
you don't have to remind me.
the movie Nacho Libre. They've been watching that for 2 weeks straight with the subtitles, writing down every line the characters say, and then acting it out. And I've been their cameraman over the weekend for a couple hours in there.
And David has been repeating all the Nacho Libre lines for the last month.
This is true.
Yeah,
And it's
true.
I'm just preparing for my role.
Rocco,
yeah.
can you tell them how many times he has repeated that name?
Nacho!
Exactly like that, pretty much.
It's painful.
The only time it doesn't do it when we are live.
Yes.
Thanks God. Thanks for the live stream.
Well, that can change very rapidly if you guys would allow me to. Guys, if you're new here, say hello. Also, if you're not subscribed, do so. My friend Miguel Costa said, let's get these guys above 9K. I agree.
We have not broken over 300 viewers in,
Today's the day.
I think, like 2 months, right?
Today's the day.
Today's the day? Okay.
I'm summoning the people. They'll be here.
Can you summon the next piece of content as well? Thank you.
Rocco, cue the laptop. All right. So, giggles. How low can you go? Well, apparently,
what is this?
This is how low. This is a car, Robin.
Is there a
Fiat.
person
The
in there?
lowest car, yes.
Stop.
Fiat.
There's
the
a person
lowest
in there?
car ever. Yeah, it's a person in there, bro.
You know the worst part I recognize is a Fiat Panda. You see they say Fiat Panda
I'm just
on the
going to
back?
say from Italy, guys.
That's
from Italy.
for sure.
100% from Italy. I believe actually Rocco had bought one of these maybe a couple decades ago, but that's a conversation for another day. Also, we have this. Now, Robin, we're going to play a game. What do you think happens next? So I'm going to pause it here. So he walks there, and what do you think is about to happen, Robin? What do you think is about to happen?
I'm going to say...
What would be the obvious answer?
Okay, I was going to say a kid scares him, and then he falls into the pool.
Okay. Falls into the pool. That would be...
I mean, there's no way he doesn't fall into the pool.
Okay.
I'll say that.
No way
Now,
he doesn't.
how he gets in the pool, I don't know.
Okay. Robin said, no way he falls into the pool. Let's see if he's right.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was a kind
Man,
It's
of
anticlimactic, bro.
What do you mean, bro?
Dude, if you gonna pull up Twitter funny, you need full
was
on
good.
in the pool, bro.
Dude, that was look how smooth that was, bro. Like nothing even happened. Like, dude literally was about to phone, like, oh nope, and bam, he just back to normal, back to his phone call. That's
Man,
it.
I thought an alligator was gonna come out.
yeah,
or
that was at
something.
least
Like,
disappointing,
dude. Yeah,
That
you
was-
dropped the
yeah,
ball
come
on
on.
that
Of course
one,
you
bro.
agree with him, Rocco.
You dropped the
Shocker.
ball on that one.
So we have proof of work versus proof of stake. Bro, Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy's
That was a good
ripped,
one. That was
bro.
good.
That was a good one.
That was good.
Bobby
Good.
Kennedy.
Your jokes normally fall flat, but
This one was
Bobby
good.
Kennedy's a beast, man.
dude, I saw more shirtless photos.
Dude's more jacked than me and you combined. That's all I'm saying. He's 7.
I saw more shirtless photos of him than on Twitter this weekend than yeah, I got an interesting feed on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And
You do.
it got
Oh,
disrupted.
yeah, you
yeah.
do have an interesting feed.
Yes. The
I don't know if that's
algorithm
I'm not sure that's the word I'd use, but
the algorithm has played to my
Your deepest desires.
male desires. I'll put it that way. And so
Absolutely.
there's no shortage of.
anyways.
We'll leave it there.
So here we have, okay, let's just play this video here. Rocco.
I think it was 9 or 10. Anyway, so here we are now, call it 13, 14 years in.
Yes.
This is a very long
but think about it. It's
speculation
not-
if this is that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm not.
But let's
They're talking about Bitcoin, by the way.
look at the crypto. Is it being used for real transactions? No. It is a cult.
In
It's the
parts of
first-
the world, it is
yeah.
the same. Where the unbanked
Okay,
or people in very
Okay.
high, where they make money and inflation is 30 or
Okay, so
40%,
let
and
me-
they have a cell phone and they're able to own something that doesn't depreciate immediately.
Well, it did exactly the opposite of its mission as inflation hedge because it collapsed when inflation
collapsed to
showed up.
30,000, but people were
Okay,
negative
you
at
can
$10.
always- But you can look at any stocks that reached $100 has started at $1 or $2. So
And a lot of those
when
collapsed.
you look at things, you don't look at the past. You look at the drawdown you can experience if you own it when it's already mature. So the one, it's not an inflation hedge. Two, the thing is, it may be good for transaction for petty transaction, small amount of money, but it's not good for real money laundering because it's very traceable.
He said it's not good for real money laundering.
It's
It's supposed to be that.
like
Sorry about
like
that.
who are you and why are you answering
He's a
questions
very
on this?
famous economist, bro.
No, but this is what I'm saying is like, I understand that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what I'm saying is that it's like, if you're gonna take a stance on something, back it up, right?
He's
He's
backing it up.
just mumbling.
It's
bro.
not good for money laundering, all right? That's why Bitcoin's not good. That's what he said.
Here's
Maybe
the thing.
famous, but-
You know what's funny is that it's not okay. So in one in one narrative, his narrative is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a
He said
scam.
it's a cult.
It's a cult. It's a scam, right? That's essentially what he's trying to the narrative he's trying to push, right? Hey, it doesn't serve any value. There's no real transactions. It's not a hedge against inflation. Anyways, he's trying to sell this narrative that it's no good for us, right? Don't trust it. And what is astonishing to me is that he says nonchalantly in a way that we have all heard so many times that it literally doesn't even faze us. It's not an inflation hedge. If you dissect what that means, it's not an inflation hedge. So it doesn't protect against inflation. What is inflation? It's theft. It's the government stealing. It's the government mismanaging money, printing too much for their own personal gain, debasing our currency, and in doing so, we are paying for politicians' narratives, right? And that's inflation. I talked about this yesterday. I'm gonna echo this. I talked about this yesterday on my show, on the Rant and Ramble. Inflation is theft, right? When you have 10% inflation, that's where we were last year. It was probably more than that. It was probably 15%. This year, it's down to 5%. It's probably closer to 10% still. So anyways, if you take 10% of people's money every year, that's what you're doing. That's theft. That's fraud. That's stealing. If I go into your bank account and I just take 10% without your permission and I say, hey man, you know what? This is for the good of everybody. I need to take your money. And then I need to give it to rich people. And then the fact that we talk about a hedge against inflation as though it's so nonchalant, like, well, it's not a hedge against. And so let's remove the words and replace it. So let's imagine this economist is here and he says, well, it's not a protection against the theft of our economy taking your money. Like, it doesn't stop the government from taking your money without your permission and giving it to rich people. Bitcoin doesn't stop that, but I don't really know what does. Gold? Okay, well, you can buy gold, and that gold can potentially stop the government, or you can circumvent the government from stealing your money without your permission and giving it to rich people. You can circumvent it by buying gold, but not by buying Bitcoin. And so that's the narrative that we live in now. That's why we got this show. Is because there has historically been no other options. The options have been, hey, you got to deal with inflation. You got to deal with the government taking your money without your permission to give it to rich people. You've had to deal with that, and you've had no other recourse. All you could have done before was move to another country that did less of it, right? You could go from Venezuela and go to the U.S. And in Venezuela, that happens 100 times faster. And here in the U.S., it happens, but it happens 10 times faster when there's a global catastrophe, and then they have to justify, in your best interest, we're going to print 5 times the amount of money we have in circulation, debase all your money, and then we're going to say everything's transitory, and then we're going to say we did it with good intentions.
Rob, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
What did the people of Lebanon do when the central bank came out and said, yeah, we're going to debase the currency by 90% this month? What did they do? What did the people in Turkey do? What did the people in Argentina do? Why was the price of Bitcoin higher in those countries? So although our shining economists, right, can't seem to wrap their heads around that, just look at people's actions versus people's words.
But those revolts and those uprisings, what that strange situation that happened in Russia for 48 hours or 24 hours, 12 hours, whatever it was. Anyways, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But what I'm saying is that when the population just gets fed up, you get revolutions, right? And in a digital age, you don't have to have a full-on revolution and just burn down the Capitol, right? We don't have to go that far. But what you could have is a revolution where people are just like, I am tired of the banks. I'm tired of the U.S. I am tired. I went down this weird rabbit hole this morning early, and I was looking at all these videos, and I got into this weird algorithm thing and just kept playing video after video. And it was people on TikTok discussing how they couldn't afford to live, right? And so
they couldn't afford what?
They couldn't afford to live. They couldn't afford because of inflation, right? And so you had all these people that had no idea what was going on, right? And so the narrative was, just imagine somebody recording a video and they're like, I did what I was supposed to do, right? I went to college, I got, my 4-year degree, now I got debt, and I got a $800 or $1,800 apartment, and I can't have any savings. I'm basically working to death just to survive. I'm not working to live and enjoy my life and hang out. And this is all just gotten worse, man. In the 70s and 80s, you could get by with a 40-hour job. You could. Now you can't. And
sad reality.
And the thing is it's all because of the monetary system. It's it. Money's worth less and you get paid less. It's a very basic equation. And there is a privatized money system out there that is not in control of politicians. But politicians can't just say,
why do you think they hate it so much?
And the problem is that we have a re-election every 4 years, and then in Congress they change seats out every 4 years. or they go up for re-election. And so what happens is that during your campaign, you need to make promises. And people are frustrated, they're down, and you need to say, hey, look, we're going to do this. And whatever the hell they say, it usually involves printing money, right?
Yeah.
It involves spending money. Yeah. And the problem is we don't bring in enough taxes. A lot of it has to do that we've offloaded all of our production. All of our gross domestic product has been offloaded to other countries. China now produces more goods globally than the U.S. does. The U.S. had been the leader in manufactured goods for the most of the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Now China does. And so we don't bring in enough taxes because we don't produce enough goods here in the States. And we don't bring enough taxes, so they spend too much. And so every year,
money's got to be made up somehow. So you either raise taxes, so you either take more money from your.
But we operate in a deficit, and then the worst part is that we got so much debt that now we're just making interest payments.
The dire situation, but we know Bitcoin is here to stay. You know who's not short of making a lot of money, Robin, and I'm very curious to get your take on this. So you know the NFT project Azuki?
Yes.
Well, they're launching a spinoff called Elementals, 20,000 of them for 2 ETH a piece.
Dang.
Is this a money grab, Robin?
So their mint price is 2 ETH?
2 ETH, bro.
That's their mint price.
That is their mint price.
Jesus.
2 ETH. I mean, I always make fun of you when you say everything's a money grab, but my God, this is 100% a money grab. For what reason? It's not like, here's my thing. It's not like only 1,000 of them or only 500, 20,000, double the regular amount of what your supply is for NFTs. 2 Ethereum a piece. Don't tell me they care about community.
That equates to
$78 million.
No.
You do it at about 1,800 ETH.
No. It's at $2,000 a piece. It would be 40 million.
So you're looking at 40,000 Ethereum times $1,800.
No, 2,000.
20,000.
2,000.
I know, but 2 ETH times 20,000 is 40,000 Ethereum times 1,800.
Here's the math, bro. It's super basic. 20,000 times 2,000. Ethereum is 2,000.
But each times each.
Oh, it's 2 ETH?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
2 Ethereum?
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus.
2 Ethereum a piece.
I don't even know why I thought it was 2,000.
No.
So you're paying $4,000 for each one?
$4,000 for a freaking NFT.
Yeah. Good God, man.
Community? Nope. Money grab?
Well, here's the thing. What's the floor of Bored Apes right now?
35.
Where was it a month ago?
You know what? Let's see the floor of Azuki's. I'm just curious.
The sad thing is that Ethereum leaves somewhere and goes to Azuki.
Azuki's 15 ETH.
So here's what's not going to happen. Majority of the money that goes into this mint does not come from a fiat bank account that gets deposited onto Coinbase, that gets moved into a MetaMask, that ends up buying the Azuki. Where it goes from is from somebody's HODL bag. It goes from someone else's NFT. It goes from somebody's staking on Cardano. It goes from somebody's Bitcoin DCA. That's where that money comes from. And it's a shift from the diverse ecosystem to a company that is just trying to grab some money, man.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
and I'm trying to grab a like button. Can you hit the like button, please? Thank you. Also, if you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. Don't see too many new people. Crypto Golfer said he's be here in Vegas today or something like that.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to come visit the studio, you're always welcome. As long as you're not a weirdo. We got to pass the weirdo test. Call us on the phone, and if you don't sound strange, we'll give you the address. And then we also have Goncalo Liato. I butchered that name.
You did.
horrendously.
What's
And also Baxter Churchill as well, and Haru Hutep as well. So to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Robin? Who bails out a central bank?
Nobody.
Germany's central bank may need a bailout to cover losses of 650 billion euros on debt.
Nobody bails you out. There is no bailout. You are done.
We're laughing, but it's sad. It's extremely sad. Guys, like the way, like Robin mentioned, the way this monetary system is set up, it's a house of cards. It can only go on for so long. And the only reason the US continues to be able to print money is because they are the world reserve currency. When the day eventually comes where they're no longer the world reserve currency, you're not going to want to have your money in dollars. You're not going to want to have your savings in dollars. What are you going to want to have your savings in? Bitcoin, precious metals,
And Pokemon cards.
and Pokemon cards, and a one-of-one Kobe Bryant autographed rookie card.
Can we
No,
get
actually, there
a
is
Can we
one
get a
bank.
Charizard for
I'll just go. Yeah,
I
no
want a Charizard for the company. Like I want a company like first edition mint Charizard,
You know
and
how
I
much
want
those
it back
cost?
here, and I have absolutely no reason for it other than it's a hedge against
Do
inflation.
you understand how much money those cost?
I don't care. I'm telling you.
Google it.
When we start making that YouTube money, one of these days we'll get over 300 viewers, and we can afford a Charizard. We're putting it back here somewhere.
All right, guys, let's keep this thing moving along here, okay? So every Monday we show you what to expect in the upcoming week, maybe some volatility. So we have Christine Lagarde, who is the European Central Bank chairwoman. She is doing a speech today that is actually happening right now. And then also this week on June 28th, in 2 days, Jerome Powell is giving his speech. And if we know how the markets are, they listen to every word this man says and they act accordingly. So depending on what he says, we could possibly get some volatility in the markets. Also in Europe, we're getting the inflation numbers, the unemployment numbers, the PCE numbers. Those come out in the US on the 30th of June. So a lot of macro stuff happening. And then as far as on the crypto side, out of the top 100, of course, the block halving for Litecoin is coming fast. That's in about 2 months. Sorry, in about a month from now, August 5th. If you're a fan of Near, I saw somewhere they were doing a, where'd it go? Okay, maybe I saw it wrong. But BitTorrent is upgrading their mainnet. Not sure if any of you are invested in BitTorrent. And then just a few things here. They're also doing an AMA. Caspa is doing an AMA as well. I know that's pretty popular with some people in our community. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Cosmos is getting their row upgrade. That's going to be Q2 of this year, which Q2 would mean the end of this month. So there you have it. Also, Bitcoin's correlation with tech stock falls to a 3-year low. Following Bitcoin's latest price rally, the leading crypto's correlation with tech stocks diverged further in June. The correlation between Bitcoin and top U.S. stocks, tracked by the NASDAQ, plummeted to the lowest level in nearly 3 years. And this is what the chart looks like. Speaking of Bitcoin, coming in barely by a thread over $30,000, $30,097 to be exact. The total crypto market cap is coming in at 1.17 billion, with volume under 35 billion yet again. Now, on the Bitcoin chart, okay, looks like we're printing a bull flag. Okay, we printed this on, I believe it was on the weekly. Then we blew right through that, where it looks like we're printing another bull flag on Bitcoin. Where can we go? We are going to see some immediate support right around this $29,800 level. If we do dip lower, expect it to get to 29.5. And after that, which I don't think is going to come this low, 28.1 is an extremely strong support level for Bitcoin. And then the rest of the markets here, just take a peek. Ethereum, $1,845, still up 6% over the last 7 days. Tether's market cap continues to grow over $83 billion. BNB token, $235. XRP, 47 cents. Cardano met some resistance at 30 cents, now is back down to 28. Rounding out the top 10, we have Doge, Solana, and Tron. What is outside the top 10, what is outside the top 12 is now Polygon Matic. 64 cents. It's been supplanted by Polkadot and Litecoin and Tron. It's out of the top 10. Are you worried, Robin, about Polygon Matic? We do know there's going to be a Celsius dump.
I've been the one telling you that this whole time. If you listen to Big Rob, I've been saying that early pump in the bear market is not good for the bull market run up, right? If you get a head start early. Now, this does not always play out that way. Look no further than Ethereum. You had an early run up during the bear market, and then you had the full-on run-up during the bull market. And so you could go two different paths. I would give it a 60% chance of it underperforming expectations in the next bull market. And I give it about a 40% chance that it
Okay, Robin, what are
crushes
underperforming?
it.
Okay, what does that look like? Underperforming expectations.
It loses its spot in the CoinMarketCap list. Right now, it's sitting at number 13. I could see it dropping down to number 20. Now, during a bull market, there's an injection of capital across all markets. So you could see the likes of Polkadot and Avalanche and Chainlink, Cosmos. I could see all of those outperforming Polygon, honestly. I think Avalanche has the partnerships. It is building. I mean, I could see Avalanche surpassing Solana. I could see it giving Cardano a run for its money, XRP. And I just don't see. Okay, I don't want to say I don't see. I could see Polygon doing it, but I just think because of its early run up, it's so reliant on the Ethereum ecosystem. I don't know. I mean, that's just my feeling.
That's your opinion.
That's my feeling.
Okay.
I want to know what your feeling is on Bitcoin because it is sitting right at 30K. We have not went under 30K since the last 10 days, I think it is now. Or no, 7 days. Sorry. So we crossed over on the 21st. So for the last 5 days, we've been over 30,000. We seem to be testing this range right now. As you can see, we had a little spill off this morning. And so 30,100 down to 30,080 earlier, 30,045. Do you think that I would say within the next 48 hours, do you think that Bitcoin will stay above 30,000? Or do you think that it will lose support and be under 30,000 in the 29 within the next 48 hours? I want to know what the chat thinks. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we're over 30K. Put a 2 in the chat if you think we lose support.
What was the time frame again?
Next 48 hours.
We'll be over.
You think we'll be over?
Yeah.
48 hours? We're testing it right now.
I know.
Right now, we're knocking at the door.
Well, the door's going to stay closed.
Okay. I'm curious.
Now, take a look real quick at a more better visual of some altcoins. See, here we have the crypto bubbles on the daily. Bitcoin Cash just pumped massively. I mean, I think this thing doubled in the last week, up about 90% here. Let's just take a look. Yeah, it doubled in a week. 104% on Bitcoin Cash. You know, it's funny. I was texting Brokyoshi. This is before Bitcoin Cash had its massive run up. He's like, man, I'm thinking about putting some money in Bitcoin Cash. I was like, bro, not financial advice, but I wouldn't do it. And hopefully he did because he would have made a lot of money. FTT is up 20%, near up 10%. I did mention in the beginning of the show, there's some big near news. And that news is coming soon. I was going to try to make a pun joke there, but I couldn't do it. Now, I also mentioned an indicator has flashed that over the last 2 times it's flashed, we've had massive bull markets, and that is the Gaussian channel on the DXY turning red. When it has happened before, we have run the 2016 and 2020 bull run for Bitcoin and the alts. And well, here it is on the weekly. Take a look. Last time we saw the Gaussian channel turn red. This was in 2017 August, and we saw Bitcoin go from $4,800 to $18,700. More recently, this is back in the week of August 31st of 2020, Bitcoin was at $10,400, and of course, we saw that rally to new all-time highs of 69K. And well, look at what we have here. The Gaussian channel just turned red again. Guys, are we officially in a bull market, Robin?
I think we're in the beginning stages of it.
I think so too, man.
I think it's a long ride up, though. We got a year, man. We got a year. So do we pull back within that year? I think the NASDAQ's been selling off. The ETF is going to take some time to pass, even though there's a lot of hype around it. So could we get a pullback? That's where my ones and twos are getting at. I want to know what the sentiment was. We were pretty much split. We were pretty much split. It seemed like there was a few more twos and ones, not by much. But I think that the hype around the ETF is going to subside, and there's just not enough liquidity and capital. And with the Azukis coming out and stealing money, I mean, it's got to go down, right?
Stealing money.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Also, there's some new people here. We got Alvin, Remon, Aaron, Crypto Fanatic, Shamitrice, and Vadika. To all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
All right. Take with that information as you will. Now, I do want to share an article from ZY Crypto. The great accumulation of Bitcoin has begun as Cameron Winklevoss and Michael Saylor share their 2 cents on current trends. Traditional finance executives are pivoting to digital assets in full force, with many aligning that the future of banking is cryptocurrencies. The co-founder of Gemini, Cameron Winklevoss, has stated that, quote, the great accumulation of Bitcoin has kicked off between retail investors and financial institutions. According to his analogy, buying Bitcoin before the ETFs hit the public was akin to getting a slice of a company before the IPO, adding that the floodgates to buying Bitcoin are closing fast. He also talked about the, right here, the window to front run institutional demand for Bitcoin is closing. Robin, is this the last?
That was such a good analogy, man. It is likened to getting a slice of a company before it goes public. You could buy Apple or Microsoft or Netflix or Uber before it went public. You done made out, right? And is Bitcoin available to the masses, to publicly traded companies? Is it available on Wall Street? No. And so is an ETF Bitcoin going public? Yeah, that's it right there, right? It pretty much is. If there was a company behind Bitcoin, we know it's decentralized. We know there's not. Do not clip this and try to make me look stupid. But if there was a company behind Bitcoin, they would be up at New York Stock Exchange ringing that bell because they're being publicly traded, right? That's where we're getting at. That's the moment where we're at.
Rob, let me ask you a question. Let's say this cycle, right, this bull market, Bitcoin goes public. It's now widely adopted amongst investors, both retail and institutional. Is this the last 70% plus drawdown bear market that we're ever going to see?
Well, you get bear markets in regular commodities. You get pullbacks in commodities. So you just got to treat it like a commodity. Does gold just keep going up? No, it pulls back. Does oil just keep going up? No, it pulls back.
We don't have 70% pullbacks. 70, 80%. It's not very common.
Wait, here's the thing. Like, how much the supply is so large that it's hard to move it that much. And with Bitcoin, it's the supply it's not as the networking isn't dispersed as much, right? And there's not so many hodlers, so it can be moved. And so the same way that new money comes in, the new retail money that is not Wall Street, the same way that those people come in and they decide that, hey, I like this Bitcoin thing. And then as soon as it starts to sell, they freak out and they dump, right? Remember that human sentiment and traders, they're the same, man. Crypto people took leverage, they got burned, and they lost money. And in the last bull market, right? Traders lost money. But who else lost money? Institutions, venture capital, large exchanges. They also took leverage. And so how we perceive, you know, how the human psychology and the tendencies that we have, companies do the same thing. And so there are going to be companies that after an ETF, they buy and they're like, oh, this is going to be the best investment ever. And they might buy the top and then, hey, you know what? Something happens. They go through a deeper recession. Maybe they go into a depression as far as the economy and they need to sell assets to stay afloat. They're going to sell the bottom. And, you know, you don't need to look any further than Tesla stock, right? Tesla stock was over, was it like $800 at one point? Something stupid like that. I don't know. I don't follow Tesla stock, but I just remember it hitting headlines on its price. And then compared to where the bottom was, I don't know if it's close to the bottom right now, but I'm pulling up Tesla here.
Tesla had a massive run up, and then they did a couple stock splits, and so I guess the reason I'm asking is because, you know, there's a lot of chatter like this might be your last time to really accumulate Bitcoin, because once these institutions get in and everyone's got access, 401ks, and
but it's still going to pull back.
Of course,
but here's the thing: how big is the run up? And so the run up is going to determine the pullback, right? And so if we get the ETFs, institution comes out, institutions pile in, they start getting positions on Bitcoin. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, on a conservative side, it gets up to $120,000 per Bitcoin. What's the pullback? Maybe 80,000, right? So it's subdued. But now take into account, let's say the FOMO is a lot more juicy, right? Let's say that the price of Bitcoin gets to 600,000. I know it sounds crazy, but
that does not sound crazy.
It
to me, it
also,
doesn't sound great.
when Bitcoin was at 6,000, when it got to 60,000, people were like, "What the hell?" Like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." Blah blah blah. That was a 10x. So if you don't think that Bitcoin can go from 60,000 to 600,000 and 10x again in a short period of time, you don't need to look further than the history books. And so with institutions coming in, with the largest economy, the largest trading market, and you can make a very compelling case that Bitcoin would get to $600,000. Now, here's the thing. If it gets to $600,000 within the span of 8 months, very typical of a bull market, you better believe there's going to be a nasty-ass pullback. I don't care if it's institutions that put money in. I don't care if it's smart money that came in. Will it go from 600,000 back down to 120? Absolutely. What is that? The typical pullback.
Interesting. I don't know. I'm starting to feel the FOMO as far as this might be the last time we really get cheap Bitcoin prices. And to me, 30K for Bitcoin is cheap, right? If you understand the potential of Bitcoin and you listen to people and you listen to these experts, and even if you don't, if you just look at the trend and where we're going, 30K Bitcoin is cheap. Bitcoin is going to hit at least, at minimum, 150,000 at the height of this bull market that we're currently in. I feel comfortable saying we're in a bull market. That, to me, that's the minimum. I think 250, 300K is more likely. But what's that pullback going to look like? I don't think it's going to be a 70, 80% pullback if everything that's happening comes to fruition. And you have all these ETFs and everyone has access to it. And it's on nation state balance sheet. And it's back in the BRICS. It's a commodity that backs the BRICS currency. And people are using it as a store of value and digital gold and transacting and ordinals. And to me, that's just my opinion. But that's one person's opinion. Also, before I forget, I will be on Around the Blockchain today, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to come support. Throw the +1s in there. Let's show them that the Sin City crypto community is the number one community in the space. I know everyone says it, but you guys, don't let me down. Now, another big institution enters Bitcoin, and that is Hong Kong's largest bank, HSBC, takes bold step into crypto by launching a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. Guys, if you want to learn more,
why isn't this more bullish? What is the New York? What is the trading hub? What is a financial center in
Of
the
Asia?
east? In the east, yeah.
Hong Kong.
You could argue it's Singapore, but
Okay, correct. Yeah, my bad.
but it's close. I think that's like comparing Chicago and New York, right? Now, I think Hong Kong has a leg up in the same way that New York has a leg up on Chicago. But they're both of those are massive financial hubs, and Hong Kong ain't no joke. HSBC, that's huge news. Is that not the biggest bank in the world, or close
No,
second
they're not.
biggest? Third
1.3
biggest?
trillion.
Oh, that's it?
Well, I mean, we say that's it. That's a lot of money, dude. A lot of money. But they're not the largest.
I always assumed they were.
They're the largest in Hong Kong. They're one of the largest in Asia. And they are, I believe, in the top, and you guys can look this up, top 15 or top 10 in the world. I could be wrong. Either way, just some context here. HSBC, Hong Kong's largest bank, has made a historic move by opening its doors
It's the eighth largest bank in the world.
Okay, so it is top 10. I mean, it's no joke. There was also news. France's second largest bank is now entering crypto Bitcoin custody. The bank has reportedly, speaking of HSBC, has reportedly started offering its customers access to Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs listed on the Hong Kong exchange. Now, if you want more info on ETFs and what they are and what the BlackRock means, we did have James Safer from Bloomberg join us on Friday. So go check that out if you want more info on ETFs. After the show, of course, don't leave yet. Stay. HSBC's move is poised to have a significant impact on crypto accessibility within the Hong Kong financial market. Prior to investing in any virtual asset-related products via the HSBC Hong Kong Easy Invest app and the mobile banking app, investors are required to peruse and confirm the educational materials and risk disclosures provided by the center. So essentially, before you have access, they're making you essentially say, hey, I understand that it's very this and this is how Bitcoin works, blah, 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 blah. Now, Robin's favorite words, blah, 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 blah. HSBC, this is big news. Rob, what are your thoughts on this? I mean,
Well, okay, so there's so much to unpack there, right? As I mentioned, Hong Kong Financial Center. Two, well, it's a place that is. What is China's role over Hong Kong? I mean, it's a province with.
So Hong Kong was under UK rule.
It was under UK's rule for 100 years.
China.
100 years, and it got given back to China, but it's still its own. It still operates independently.
But it has, but it only has a few certain amount of years.
It's under China's control, right? Or China's rule, ultimately. So China can come down and say, hey, you're not allowed to operate this way financially. You're not allowed to offer Bitcoin. We don't endorse Bitcoin. You can't either. They can say that, right? So you got Hong Kong, which is an extension of China, getting behind Bitcoin. Do you think that this could have some parallel to the BlackRock, right? Now, BlackRock does have ties to China. I don't want to go down that.
Ties everywhere, bro.
No. But they're one of the here's the thing. They are one of the very, 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 very few American-based companies that have access to the Chinese, like, banking or an investment arm or whatever it is. Anyways, they operate in China, and it's a very rare thing for an American-based company to operate in China and have their blessings, basically. And is it a surprise that BlackRock launches the ETF and then, hey, the same week, China's launching an ETF? Is this a not warming you up to the idea that once a large nation starts accumulating Bitcoin, it's going to be an arms race? What would happen? Okay, ETF proposal to launch here in the States. It's coming. We all agree. Likelihood is looking favorable. So ETF coming here in the States. China launches one, right? What happens if US starts accumulating Bitcoin? What do you think would happen? China would buy Bitcoin, right? You can't have one country can't just do one and then the other one just be like, okay. No, they're always it's a war. It's not a war with boots on the ground, but it's a war of dominance, a war of economy, a war of cloud. It's a war of technology. We see what happened when both countries slept on the semiconductors. Now it's a war through a third party. I'm telling you, at this moment, if US does something, if China does something, the other is going to react. And you better believe that if all of a sudden, if China decided to start buying millions of Bitcoin, I'm talking about like scooping up. Like, you remember, it was only 21 million Bitcoin. If they started buying millions of Bitcoin, they just started buying as much Bitcoin as they could. What do you think Congress would do? You think Congress would just be like, hey, let's ban it? No, because they know they can't. So they're gonna do the same. They're gonna be like, hey, let's get the miners going. Let's try to buy some. Let's try to prevent them from buying it. Like, they're just gonna do it as a precautionary, even though they don't want it. They're gonna be like, hey, China's doing it. Like, we don't like that.
That maybe stop them from selling the Bitcoin that they have right now. 45,000.
The thing is the only option when it comes to Bitcoin, the only recourse you have as a country, you can't stop the network. You could literally, the United States could put every dollar they have, every tech company they have, and all they could do was slow down the decentralization. They could slow it down. They can't stop it. Not even if China and the US got together. They couldn't stop it. They can't concentrate enough miners together to bring up the hash rate to compromise the network. Now, if they did it together for long enough, sure, maybe, yeah, I guess you could. But here's
the thing. If the hash rate drops that fast and the difficulty drops that fast, you're going to get...
No, it's actually going to be the opposite. The hash rate's going to go up. And so they're going to compromise the network, it doesn't go in reverse. You would have to accumulate so much computing power that you would shoot up the difficulty that the normal miners right now
taking over a network.
Yeah, to take over a network. Okay. So what I'm saying is that you can't shut it down. So as a nation state, your options are shut down Bitcoin. You can't physically do it. You can't shut it down. You can't ban it because it runs on the internet. So you either ban the internet or you ban Bitcoin. So your options are buy more Bitcoin. That's it. That's the only option a country has. So if you feel threatened by the competition because they're buying Bitcoin and you decide that that's not a good idea for whatever reason, you could say money laundering, drugs, you can say like network, you can say the US hegemony, you could come up with any idea. Just throw the idea out there. Hey, China's buying 1 million Bitcoin. You could, as a congressman, be like, that's not a good idea. And then you can fill in the blank. The only recourse you have as a country is buy Bitcoin. And that's where we are going. And that's why when these ETFs, US launches ETF, China launches ETF. It's an arms race. The same thing is going to happen. You just wait. You guys just wait till somebody pulls the trigger on some Bitcoin. It might be Germany, it might be the UK, it might be China, it might be the US, whoever it is. One of the major ass nations decides to start buying some real Bitcoin. I'm talking about scooping that crap up. Instead of keeping gold in the treasury, they're keeping Bitcoin. Watch what the hell happens to the price. Watch what happens to the price. And everyone is over here sleeping on Bitcoin talking about like, oh, well, you know, oh, man, it's just, you're going to make more money on alts. You're going to make more money on alts. What has made the most money in tech if you bought it in 2020? Or no, excuse me, in 2000, in 1998? What is the best performing tech stock since 1998? It's been Apple. Now, you could sit here and say in 1999, well, hey, man, you know what? I got this it's internet stock. It's going to outperform Apple in 2 years. Sure, yes, it will. Sure, there's been millions of companies that have outperformed Apple over the course of 1 to 2 years. But Apple just slowly going up. And Bitcoin's going to slowly go up. And there's going to be altcoins that outperform Bitcoin. But who's going to win that damn race? It's going to be Bitcoin through and through, man.
As Michael Saylor said, there is no second best. To end this topic up, I want to share a tweet by Will Clemente.
And also, last, I just wanted to say Ethereum being in there. I was just talking about Bitcoin. I didn't even get to Ethereum. That is huge too. That is huge. There's going to be an ETF for Ethereum here in the States once everything settles with Bitcoin.
Let's get
spot
Bitcoin
ETF.
going first.
Yes. Once that happens, you best believe next in line is Ethereum. That's going to come as well. So super
I wonder
bullish.
if after that, would it be Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin? Who knows? Between HSBC, BlackRock, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab, we are talking about $25 trillion in assets under management that will soon be enabled to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just a $600 billion market cap asset today. It's not rocket science. It's really not.
Well, you know, Carson S. says Bitcoin won't hit 200 next cycle. He bets the bank.
Which bank?
No.
Now,
Don't worry. Keep betting on the banks. Good luck with that.
now, I did mention we have some news for Near Protocol. The Near Foundation partners with e-commerce giant Alibaba Cloud to accelerate Web3 growth in Asia. The Near Foundation is joining Alibaba Cloud, the Chinese tech giant's arm for computing and storage, to accelerate Web3 growth in Asia and the Middle East. The partnership grants the Near Foundation access to Alibaba Cloud's developer ecosystem across Asia and the Middle East in a bid to attract more developers to build on Near. The Near Foundation and Alibaba will offer remote procedure calls, also known as RPC, as a service to developers and users in the Near ecosystem. RPC is a type of computer server that allows users to read data on blockchains and send transactions to different networks. We did do a video on this talking about the blockchain operating system that Near Protocol is launching. It's going to be essentially a connect all the different blockchains. We know Near introduced the capabilities for people who develop and write scripts and code in Java, which is the most used programming language. Those developers are now able to build on Near. So it seems like Near Protocol is focusing on bringing developers into their ecosystem by making it seamless and easy and practical. And by partnering with companies like Alibaba, giving them the resources they need to continue to build and to bring them over from other chains, maybe like Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, over to Near. Robin, how bullish are you on Near?
Man, on a level of 1 to 10, I'd say
6.2.
I was going to say 7 point something, but yeah. I think this is typical bear market blue chip partnerships, right? Big names. You're probably not going to see the price move up much now. If this broke during the bull market, you'd see it 2x or 3x. But this is what chains are doing for healthy development and long term, and it just doesn't get the recognition that you would expect it to get during the bull market. And so for that reason, something that you want to keep on the radar, especially if you couple this with multiple partnerships. Here's the thing, like say for example, Polygon didn't run up in the bull market. I mean the bear market. Let's just say that the price pulled down to 20 cents. And say it just hung out there during the bull market. Right now it's at 60, but let's just say that Polygon just didn't perform that well during the bear market. The same way that a lot of tokens did not perform well during the bear market. Last cycle, this had a pretty good run up. Look, it got up to 90 cents. It's not even, it's about a 3x away from its all-time high. So it's holding up strong. But now if this were to fall down to 20 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents, and have the same performance that a lot of other altcoins are having, then I would say, man, look at all the partnerships it made during the bear market, and it is prime for the next bull market. And if you take that same mentality and you apply it to a project that is down 90% and it's still making partnerships and didn't get it run up in the bear market, then those are the projects you want to identify, right? So for me, I'm not worried about Polygon. The secret's out. The cat's out of the bag. It's not even on discount. I mean, it is on discount, but not compared to other projects that have partnerships. And so Near Protocol, just another example. There's a host of these, man. There's a host of layer ones and ecosystems that are building partnerships and preparing for the next bull market, preparing to onboard tons of new users, preparing to expand their utility and offer real world services. And when the people come, they're going to use the projects that have real world use cases that are plugged into real companies that we use already, and identify those.
Finance, FWD. I don't know. Is that 4-wheel drive or not sure what's going on? So anyways, the dominoes continue to fall in Binance's exit from European nations. It went from Belgium to, I believe, what was the other country? Singapore or something. Either way, Binance, they pulled, another country pulled their license. It's either France or Australia. Binance, there's a mass exodus happening from Europe. Is Binance in trouble? We know they're being targeted here in the US. Apparently, they're being targeted in Europe. We know Europe and US are pretty closely tight-knit. And on the back end, we're seeing traditional finance step in. So,
Binance keeps taking punches, man.
Robin, if you put your tinfoil hat on, is there a worldwide effort?
I stopped wearing hats.
Okay.
Retired those this year.
But if I were to give you a Coca-Cola can to put on your head, act as a tinfoil hat.
If you watched our show Friday, that was so cringe, bro.
It was not Friday. That's not the point. What I'm trying to make is there a conspiracy?
You're not cringe?
Is there a conspiracy? Is there a conspiracy to
against Binance? No, here's the thing. I've said it before. Binance is the enemy of the state. It's an enemy of the United States. It's the target.
And apparently Europe.
And what? No, Europe is monkey see, monkey do.
Mm.
What happens? U.S. sanctions somebody. What happens to the rest of the world? They're like, we're on board too. Hey, and then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, man, Binance is fraud. They're money laundering. They're wash trading. They're endorsing terrorists. You know, the list goes on and on. All the accusations you can throw at Binance. I was going to say a crypto exchange, whatever. All the FUD you could throw at Binance, they've done. The U.S. has done. And other countries, our partners, people that blindly follow us, the ones that, because remember, the IMF is International Monetary Fund. They are run by the U.S. essentially, right?
Yeah. U.S. is the largest funder of the IMF.
Yeah,
U.S. and China.
And I think their operation is based out of Washington, right?
Yeah. Their headquarters.
Headquartered here.
U.S. is the largest contributor.
Yeah. So, hey, the U.S. says, hey, Binance is the enemy. Guys, they're doing so much illicit activity. There's so much fraud going on there. They're funding terrorists. They're money laundering. They're helping the child pornography thing. Like, what I'm saying is that they, no, you hear Elizabeth Warren talk about it. And so every like negative sticking point you can put at somebody, they use it, right? They try to play on your emotions. That's what the U.S. is doing. And other countries are following suit because they blindly follow the U.S.
Stop playing with my emotions.
There you go.
Speaking of playing with emotions, my emotions are great because of channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and you need some help with IT or network, visit BlueWireTech.com. Also, follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the other places as well. Also, come join me on Around the Blockchain. Support Sin City Crypto. Support me. Why does Dave only talk out of one side of his mouth? I don't know. That's a good question. Guys, also go visit our merch store. Buy some merch. If you're a well member, you get 10% off. And with that being said,
I do have one last shout out. Alvin, Black, Vidic, Stay Golden, Eric, Carson S, Kevin B. Hola!
well, hola. And as Miss King Crypto says, hola Dios. Rocco. Guys, thank you so much for beginning your week with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. We did. Come back tomorrow, same time, same place. On behalf of myself, Robin, and Rocco, we love you guys. Until tomorrow.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya. City.